I prefer to drop my knowledge standing today. First point, Trump tweets, why times three? Why focus on your election win? Why fuel that fire? Why do that if it's something that you want to go away? Is it because of the concern about the popular vote going increasingly towards Clinton? Probably so, but again, if the election's over, let it go. Why number two? If you're going to make a point, make the point that, hey, the whole idea of the Electoral College turning on me didn't happen. It turned on her. She got more faithless electors on her side of the column than we've had since the early 1900s. At least make a real point. Now, three, why tweet about this stuff that doesn't matter when it means that you are ignoring, by proxy of giving information to that, things that matter so much more, especially now with active terror investigations going on, with 30 of your own people just dying, in this continent, on North America. They're just north of Mexico City. There are other things you could be talking about that are presidential instead of this. Trump tweets, huge, this charity sham, not scam, okay? Scam, nefarious, illegal. This is about what is wrong, not necessarily what is illegal. This charity that they signed up for and that they formed in Texas, okay? The son's name's wound up on this formation document. Not just some banter, not just some conversation, not an email. This was something that somebody took time and thought to file. This charity that is newly formed, no history of giving or anything like that. And what it really was a sham. It was to find a way to raise money through access to the president. Illegal? That's a side issue. It's about, is this the thing to do, Mr. Drain the Swamp? Mr. I don't need the money? Mr. I'm going to do government more clean and transparent? That's what this all goes to, and it all is bad. It doesn't look bad, it is bad. So, how do they respond? They deny. That's what politicians do, that's what political teams do. Trump is no different or no better in that regard in terms of what we've seen. Then Newt Gingrich comes out and says two redonkulous things. The first thing he says is that Donald Trump, as president of the United States, should pre-pardon his own children. Think about that. Think about the idea of looking at the Constitution and saying, you know what, the president should use his power to pardon people, to pre-pardon his own kids, holding them harmless for anything that they do. Think about what that speaks to, coming out of Newt Gingrich, of all people. Then the last thing is the idea of anything that you don't like is now called fake news. Anything I report, any analysis, any testing that you don't agree with is called fake news. One, I hate that term because it gives false dignity to bullshit, okay? If something is BS, it's BS. There's no news about it. And second of all, insults are weakness. Insights move the bar, move the discussion, make you right. So what you learn when you are a litigator or when you're a debater is that when somebody goes to the person, what they call an ad hominem in those circles, right, to the person, I know it's weakness, and you should know that as well. If you don't like what somebody says, and I say this to you guys all the time, make a point that shows they're wrong, a fact, an argument, some suggestion. But just saying this person's stupid, ... I'm not impressed by that. I don't retweet it. If you want to come at me, come at me. But don't call me fake news unless you can prove that I deceived in a way that shows I had an agenda. One of the things that the right likes to throw at me all the time is when we were dealing with WikiLeaks. Look, I got to tell you, there's a lot of frustration that goes into that reporting dynamic. Journalists have often used ill-gotten information that goes to the truth of a matter, and we've used it in our reporting. WikiLeaks was a further layer of frustration because it seems as though this information was not brought out the way it is often described as just letting the truth come out. It was designed to undermine. It had a negative agenda attached to it. So that made it more frustrating, but we reported on it. The law is evolving on these. There's never been a case of somebody being prosecuted for downloading hacked emails. True. But in the beginning, we thought that what had been hacked included classified information from Hillary Clinton and people around her. That is a much more gray area legally. I made the mistake on TV of making a point of conclusion without providing the context, and it came off like I was just simply saying anybody who reads any of this, unless you hear it from me, is breaking the law. I'll take the criticism, that's fine, but it's not fake news. It's not me having an agenda. I was reporting on the things all the time. I was putting them out there all the time. Clearly, I wasn't trying to keep them secret. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Be well, just a few days to Christmas.